The last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. To choose one's own way. Hi, I'm Linda Watson-Call. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Dragonfly Soup. Are you willing to share, or are you keeping these episodes to yourself? Please let your friends and family know that you enjoy watching Dragonfly Soup by clicking like and then sharing the link below. I've heard it said so many times, if you want to get something done, if you want others to see you as a leader, you have to have a take charge attitude. So what exactly is a take charge attitude? Is it that bossy kid in the classroom who thinks that his or her idea is the only one that counts? Or is the person on your team who won't take any suggestions for different ways of completing the project? I hear from a lot of kids about how they will take charge of their lives, like their parents got old by luck, not knowledge. Now, don't get me wrong. It's good to have a take charge attitude and to take charge of yourself, as long as you know where you're going and have a plan or two in case things don't go the way you think they would. The reality is, you are in charge of your life. From the moment you wake up in the morning until you fall asleep at night, you are in charge of yourself. But it's not that type of in charge that we usually think of. Being in charge of yourself doesn't mean that you don't listen to other people's opinions or suggestions. It's quite the opposite. Being in charge means that you consider other people's experiences, feelings, and suggestions. Then you make the best decision based on the information that you've received. For example, a young lady that I know had become an accomplished horseback rider, and now she wanted her own horse. She was showing a lesson horse from the stable where she was taking lessons and felt it was time for her to have her own horse. She found a flashy horse that could do everything. He could jump, he could event, he could do dressage, and he could even do barrels if you asked him the right way. Her mother was not sure this would be the right horse for her daughter, so she consulted with the instructor. Rather than say no, her instructor explained to her that the best way to find the right horse is to interview the person who's selling the horse, try riding the horse, and then waiting a day or two before making a decision. And, just to be safe, it would be a good idea to look at 3, maybe even 4 horses before making a purchase. The young lady did not like this approach at all. She was bound and determined to get her flashy horse. Her mother said she would not make a purchase until she followed her instructor's suggestion. No one was telling her that she couldn't get that horse, but the smart thing to do would be to make sure that it was a good fit. As it turned out, she couldn't see her perfect horse right away, but there were 2 other equally great horses at other barns, so she went through the motions of talking to the owners and riding the horses. Both horses were a good fit for her, but she was holding out for her horse. The following week, she was able to check him out. He was even more beautiful in person than in the pictures. When she asked about the horse's health, she was told the reason she couldn't see him the week before was because he was on stall rest and couldn't be ridden. This young woman had a lot of horse experience, so she choked up a little and asked if this was the first time he had ever been on stall rest. The owner was surprisingly honest with her and told her it wasn't. This was the 3rd time in the past 2 years. Our young lady choked back the tears and calmly said, "I'll have to pass on this horse." Both her mother and her instructor were proud of her and her take-charge attitude. She did purchase one of the other horses that she looked at and had an amazing show record for the next few years. But more importantly, she realized that taking charge doesn't always mean getting or doing what you want. It's making a sound decision based on the facts and inputs from others. Taking charge also means having the right attitude in any given circumstance. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, has said, "The last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's way." Choose one's attitude by taking charge of our thoughts. Don't think about things we don't want to happen. Think about our goals. Focus on being creative and positive. Our young lady kept her focus on her goal of owning her own horse. Choose one's attitude by taking charge of our emotions. Feel the joy, the happiness, the contentment in everything that you do. Our young lady was upset because she realized that her dream horse would have ended up being a nightmare horse. She moved on and focused on the greatness of the other horse that she chose with enthusiasm and passion. Choose one's attitude by taking charge of our bodies. Do whatever we need to do to feel healthy, energetic, and fully alive. With the right attitude, we can take charge of ourselves, our minds, our emotions, and our bodies. And we are the only person we can be totally in charge of. Share in the comments below or in a message ways that you take charge of yourself to have a great day and a great life. And I'll see you next week right here on Dragonfly Soup. Here's to our transformation and our best year ever.